perfect.
Is it? Okay. Are you ready to go?
Yeah, man, let's do it.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Eugene Honrath from Shadow Warriors, and I've got Taylor Grimes from Black Feather Designs. How are you, man?
Pretty good, man. How you been?
I'm good. I'm sorry that I didn't get a chance to make it to Blade this year.
Oh yeah, man, we missed it. It was a good time. Hot.
I hear that it was a good time. I mean, just being still in the thick of it in terms of COVID, and with last year's kind of being canceled, I knew it was going to be a little weird, but that's not why I didn't come. It just was a bad schedule. Was like, oh.
Oh yeah, yeah.
How
Blade Show was a lawless wasteland this year.
was it?
Yeah, man. It was everybody cut loose pretty hard this year, and it was weird though. There was not as many people as you would have thought would have been at Blade Show after not having one last year.
Yep.
And there was lots of empty tables and booths, so it was a little strange.
Yeah, so I, being down in Florida and a little bit in North Carolina, I think that we don't really realize how much in other states things were like shut down.
Yeah.
Until like the second week of June shut down.
Yeah.
But down here it's like we're just gonna call it Florida Stan, and it's like our own country down here. We're just like, we don't care what anybody else is doing. Yeah, it's been some interesting times, man. I think that yeah, you know that.
Yeah, definitely.
But was it with everything considered? Did you go 2 years or 3? Well, the year before COVID, did you go 2019?
Yeah, I did.
How was it compared to that?
I don't think it was as busy. There was definitely not as much buying going on. I heard from a lot of smaller makers that they weren't selling anything. And a lot of times at Blade Show, people buy a lot from the small time custom guys.
Yep.
It really kind of sucked to see all those guys struggle this year because everybody works extremely hard getting ready for Blade Show, and it's not a cheap show to go to. So I really hate to see that those guys really didn't do that great this year, but hopefully next year will be a little better.
Yeah, I kind of heard. I heard kind of a range of things. I heard I sold out right on Saturday. I heard I sold out, but it was later in the weekend, and most of my sales were from people back home. which is that's always a weird thing. And then I heard that I didn't really sell anything at all, but I know that I can sell it at home, kind of a deal.
Yeah, exactly. Because I took I didn't have my own booth. I was set up with one of my dealers, and I took 20 pieces roughly, and I sold one piece of the show, but not a big deal. I came home and everything's gone within 2 weeks of coming home.
Good.
So no money lost. I just didn't get to spend as much money at Blade Show as I wanted to.
Yeah, you probably spent more money than you actually brought in.
Definitely.
Well,
I bought a lot of stuff.
What was your favorite thing that you bought?
Probably the forging hammer. I got a forging hammer from Old Hickory Forge.
Oh yeah.
I've been kind of dabbling in forging finally, and I just got junky hammers laying around, from antique stores and stuff. So getting an actual forging hammer really excited me. So
have you used
I bought a whole bunch of stuff, but yeah, I've used it twice now.
Is it as good as you thought it was going to be?
Yes, it works a million times better than a random ball peen hammer or the old farrier's hammers you find everywhere with a cross peen on the back.
Yep.
Those aren't forging; they're for farrier work only.
Gotcha.
Having a true rounding hammer for forging is making a big difference already.
Nice. Well, hopefully it'll make it easier and it'll actually make you money.
Yeah, hope so. Hope so.
So all right, well, so tell me a little bit about yourself, where you're at, and then kind of we'll get into what you do and a little bit like that.
Well, I'm kind of young. Uh, I've been doing this stuff for 6 years,
How
and
old are you?
I'm 27, just
Okay.
turned 27, like last month actually. Um, I never really knew which way I was going with this stuff. It started off as a hobby, and it really snowballed. And I'm at this weird transitional phase right now, and I'm working on selling my entire collection.
What do you
Axe
mean?
stuff. I'm selling out to fund a huge project.
Okay.
Uh, I'm quitting my job. I've got like 18 days left at work.
What do you do?
I work on floors. I run a buffer like every night of the week.
Okay.
It's kind of it's a really easy job and it pays a lot, but it's like being a prisoner. It's like
Especially I think especially when you're itching to do something else and you're excited about doing something else.
yeah.
Have you kind of like gone through the like, is this a good idea? I don't know if it's a good idea. Yeah, it's a good idea. No, that's a bad idea. Okay, let's do it. No, no, I'm not going to do it. All right, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I was doing that for probably the last year because we bought our house like right when COVID really started shutting everything down. And people were losing their jobs, and I even lost the job that I had right when COVID started.
What did you
Uh, you know,
do? What did you do before?
I worked on a farm.
Okay.
Surprisingly, I'm not a
Okay. Okay.
farmer, but I was like a project manager. Doing all kinds of stuff around the farm, and you know, everything started shutting down. Money stopped flowing there for a while.
Sure.
Uh, I bowed out. I didn't get fired but I resigned so other people could keep their job. They had kids and stuff
Well, that was
because
good, man.
I had shop work and I could make a living still. So I bowed out of that job, and then like into summer, about this time last year, actually, I got the job working on the floors, and it paid more than working on the farm did, and I worked like a third of the hours. So
Is it with like hardwoods and that kind of stuff?
no, it's like I guess it's like a plastic tile floor in like grocery stores and stuff.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They're coated in wax, and they gotta get buffed like every day to maintain their look or whatever. And we just go in and buff floors. It's so easy, like a monkey could do it literally, and it pays a lot because I mean it's like you got to be there every day of the week pretty much.
What's your timing on it? During the day, is it all at night or?
Yeah, it's all at night. I work from like 7 p.m. to 11. It's only like a 4-hour shift.
So why are you gonna get rid of it?
Because it's it's like pulling teeth to get a day off.
Okay.
And
Because
like
it's so consistent kind of work.
yeah, yeah, and there's like nobody wants a job. It seems like so we can't get any extra employees, so that the employees that are here now can get a day off.
Gotcha.
We're all like skeleton crew. Everybody's working too much. Doing too many at a time, and it's rough. It was rough, but I'm kind of glad to be getting out because I got a huge like opportunity going on right now. They're just like all these things are falling into my lap, and
Okay.
leaving
Is
this
it
job.
is it a private opportunity that you haven't talked about yet?
Not really. Uh, it's mostly a whole bunch of small opportunities that can snowball into bigger ones.
Okay.
And that's why I got the confidence to go ahead and quit my job because I'm going to be traveling a lot over the next year or so, probably.
Are we allowed to talk about it?
Yeah. This is all on me, the traveling part.
What is it? What is it?
So I told you I was selling my collection,
Yeah.
and
Which
the reason
which
that,
which hold on. If you're not a collector or a knife person in general, I don't see that I'm a collector, but if someone went into where my collection is, they'd be like, "Oh, you collect knives, right?" I'm like, "Well, no, not really." So
they accumulate.
huh?
they accumulate.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, sure. I'm like, what? I'm like, what can I get rid of? I'm like, I don't really see much that I can get rid of. But for a person who doesn't know that kind of stuff, like my wife, she's just like, she could like have a suitcase and the two kids have a suitcase and see you later. Like that's like there's not. I'm like, man, what do I do? I'm like, back in I think was it 18 when Hurricane Irma came into Florida, we evacuated, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, we might never see any of this stuff again, right?
Yeah.
And we were like 18 feet off of only 18 feet off of sea level, because we have a condo on the second level at that time. And I'm like, man, I'm like, we might never see any of this stuff. What do I do with my, and it was really my knives. What do I do with my knives? Because I brought the other stuff. What do I do with my knives to like keep them safe? And I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right, I'm going to put them in a Rubbermaid container, and I'm going to put them in the shower, and I'm going to like all this stuff. But if you're not like a knife person, you just don't think about it like that, you know? Yeah. So you're selling all your stuff, and what are you doing?
I bought a truck this year, a new truck, and I'm gonna be turning my truck into like a travel camp overland rig type thing. And I'm fixing to order a whole bunch of camera stuff, GoPros, and I got a camera drone coming. And I'm gonna be traveling the country, going and learning as much as I can from different knife makers and blacksmiths, and gonna be filming the whole thing. Gonna be filming some camping videos, gear tryout videos, fishing stuff. I'm gonna start a YouTube channel. You know, everybody does that nowadays, but it's more of a passion project than anything, really. I want to learn more, so I'm just going for it.
You're only young once.
Yeah.
And there is definitely money to be made out there in the YouTube world, or out there in social media in general, especially like sponsorships and stuff like that. You know, and I think that's pretty awesome. Have you started to flesh out like when you'll start, where you'll go, that kind of stuff?
Somewhat. There's a whole bunch of events I have to go to this year. So I'm gonna try, and whenever I go to the events, I'm gonna try and hop over to someone's shop that's kind of close by to where I'm going.
Okay.
And I'm gonna film the events too, because I'll be set up and probably selling or doing demos at the events and stuff. So it's starting like October is when I'm gonna be like starting officially. I was gonna wait till like, you know, end of the year after Christmas.
Yeah.
Then like I went to a camp out last weekend, and opportunity arose to go to Georgia Bushcraft and do a demo and sell some stuff and hang out with some people that I haven't met before. Yeah. So I'm jumping on that, and then I got invited to go to Ohio Bushcraft, which is in October. So I'm going to Ohio October, and that'll be like the official start of this new adventure. So I'm looking forward to it.
Film every single second of it.
Yeah.
Even if in your brain you're like, this is inconsequential, like this doesn't mean anything, get in the habit of filming it and doing something with it right away.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it, man. Just like do it, because people want to see the journey.
Yeah, definitely.
And then I think the second thing is set up something like a Patreon or something where your followers can kind of congregate and contribute to the journey.
Okay.
Because people want to see that. And I would, a GoFundMe necessarily isn't it because of what people have made GoFundMes into, but something like Patreon, where you can say, hey guys, for, you know, and there's different settings in there and stuff, but, you know, for X amount of money, or you can belong to this and you can contribute to my journey, even if it's just a little bit of money here and there, it can kind of give you a little boost.
I'll look into that. I never thought about doing that, but that would definitely help because gas has gone up and my truck uses a lot of gas. So
Yeah, get gas and just the journey, man. I mean, it costs money to do stuff like this. But hey, listen, man, I'm here to help you in any way that I possibly can. I think that is pretty awesome.
thanks.
I think that you're only young once, and do you have kids?
No, no
Oh,
kids. A
okay.
lot of animals, no kids.
Okay. So there you go. And that's the second thing. You're only young once, and then most people only have a period of time without kids.
Yeah.
And it's not that you can't do those things without kids, but it just makes it more complicated. There's more stuff. But there are a ton of people. I mean, I could probably give you 10 guys' names out there who, without even asking, would allow you to come there and work with them and make a knife with them. And there's a lot of people that'll do that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'm open to any suggestions, recommendations. I've got a ton of knife maker and blacksmith friends, so I'm sure the list is going to be pretty long, and there's going to be a lot of time for filming and learning. And this whole process is like 30% for the video,
Okay.
but it's like, also 100%. I want to learn more than I know.
Sure.
I already make stuff. I'm a maker, but there's no limit to how much you can learn or how many different ways you can learn the same thing. And if you find all these different ways to do one thing, you can find out which way works best for you. And that just makes everything a lot easier in the end. Because I've had zero like formal training in any of this stuff.
How did you, like, when you were 21, how did you get into it? What was like the first thing you made? Like, tell me about that.
I'm 27 now. I think I was 19 when I started doing this stuff. It's been longer than I thought, actually. But I was, in the knife world, Facebook forums, all the knife groups, back in the early EDC days on Facebook.
Sure.
And I got kind of bored with everybody wanting the same old thing and collecting the same stuff and everything matched. And I had all this stuff and I'm like, I'm kind of bored. So I ended up going out with some friends and went to a flea market, and I was looking for knives, the flea market, because there's all kinds of weird stuff there.
Heck yeah.
And I found a bucket of axe heads, like full of water. And I was like, how much is that? He was like, $20. And I'm like, I'll give you $5 for the bucket of axe heads. And he's like, take it. So I took him home, had no clue what I was doing. I had a Dremel. It was my only tool I had, a Dremel and a hammer. And I did terrible work with axes for like 2 years. And then my wife bought me my first grinder, the one that I still use all the time, the Grizzly, which is like an entry level grinder for any knife person, right after the 1x30, And,
yeah.
I was terrible with the grinder. I could not grind anything. So I kind of gave up on the grinder for a while and it sat in my building. But then I got more into the axe thing and I kept playing with the grinder and I still sucked. I sucked for 2 more years after that, after getting the grinder. I was terrible with it for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then we ended up moving from the city out here to the middle of nowhere. And I had an actual shop space. So I was spending a lot more time in the shop and I started getting decent. Yeah. And then I just, kept spending tons of money on belts, just buying them, whenever I had $20, I put it in the belt fund and just save up and buy a whole bunch of belts. And over time, I got pretty good with grinding the axes and stuff. And now I'm at this point, I don't want to toot my own horn or anything, but I feel like I'm in that top percentage of people that do axe work.
Okay.
There's not a lot of I couldn't say famous people, but the well-known axe guys. I'm right up there with the 10% or 5% of people that can be renowned or whatever. So It just goes to show that if you don't stop, eventually you won't suck.
Yeah, true. Well, for some people.
Yeah,
But
true.
I think that you have the mindset of always getting better. And
Yeah,
I think that contributes to it as well. Even just saying, hey, I want to travel around the country and learn more skills is like a big thing, man.
yeah.
Um,
It's going to be a huge learning experience. I'm extremely excited. I'm counting down the days till this job is over.
so you made or make not axe heads now.
So what I've been doing is just restoring and
Okay.
modifying like vintage heads,
Yep.
and I also do like new axes also, like American Council Tools is my favorite one to buy and use. They're made in North Carolina. They've been around since like 1886, I think, maybe a little bit further back, and they are like the only axe manufacturer to make it through all these years. They're the last one. There was a
Really?
whole bunch that started in the 1800s, and none of them are still around except for Council Tools. And they're based like 2 hours away from where I live. So I've got a kind of an addiction or an obsession with the Council stuff. So I
Have
buy a
you
lot of new Council axes and regrind them, and those have been like my number one seller for a couple years now.
have you ever talked to the guys over there?
I'm really good friends with like the main designer, and I don't know what his official title is, but yeah, he's a designer and like the face, I guess you'd say, of Council Tools.
Okay. Okay.
Quite a few times, and we talk axes, and he's a really good dude.
Yeah, they seem to have I've seen them around a little bit, but not a ton.
Yeah, they've
Um,
they've been around a long time, and they make a lot more than axes too. But axes, I think, are their like number one thing.
Interesting. That's awesome, man. Have you ever thought about like a sponsorship deal with them or anything like that?
I don't know if they do that kind of stuff. I know they have dealers because they don't sell direct at all. And I'm friends with one of their, I think, is their biggest dealer. We're really good friends. I don't know if they would do any kind of sponsorship, but I'm definitely going to be, giving Council plugs on my YouTube channel and stuff,
Yeah.
because that's what I use. And I've always had, Council axes, and
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
for the money. I think Council is the best product out there for axes. I would put those up against a Gransfors any day of the week.
Interesting.
And that's saying a lot because, people obsess over Gransfors axes.
Yeah, they like dote over them. It's
Yeah.
insane. Yeah, I'll have to check them out. I mean, do they have so they have like a lot if you go on like eBay, they have a lot of Council um like vintage stuff.
It's not as easy to find the Council older stuff. It's out there, and I've got
Yeah.
a few that are fixing to leave in my collection. But if you go to, okay, shameless plug here, whiskeyrivertrading.com, that's where you find all the newer stuff from Council. And that's their biggest dealer, I think. I think Brandon at Whiskey River sells the most Council stuff out of anybody. And he oftentimes has some vintage ones on the website. There should be a vintage section on the category somewhere, I think. I don't know what he has right now, but you probably be able to find some on eBay, the old ones.
Yeah.
And hell, I even found some in Florida last time I was there.
Did you?
Yeah, man, just get out and go to all the antique shops and stuff. You never know what you're gonna find.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'll have to check them out. I don't know. I just think that there is especially in this day and age with a lot of static out there. I'm surprised that more companies aren't working towards trying to do more sponsorships and trying to get themselves connected within these knife groups, because it seems that small maker, large maker, been here a long time, been here a little time, that a lot of if they make a quality product and they get connected with a Facebook group and in kind of kind of our circles, that
Yeah.
they really take off because there's a lot of brand loyalty. Like RMJ,
Oh
I
yeah.
think their followings like die hard.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So I don't know, maybe
Ryan makes an awesome product. I've actually got one sitting across the room right now. That's one of his designs. CRKT made it, but hell, even the CRKT versions are pretty freaking awesome.
yeah.
So
So I saw that one. So what do you sell now? Like, do you just make it, like, how does everything work? Do you just make something and then sell it, or do you have a line?
I have a small line. Oh no, I mean I guess not really a line, it'd be a backlog. I've got a small order backlog that
Okay.
I'm fizzling out right now because I'm probably not going to be taking orders anymore, except from like a certain amount of people that I know and like repeat customers that have been buying from me for a long time. And I'll take requests, but don't expect like me to jump on a project immediately because I got a lot going on. But I do make knives. I've been focusing pretty hard on kitchen chef knives recently. Don't know why, it just kind of happened. But I still sell axes and a bunch of weird stuff. I
Do you
make all
have
kinds.
anything right there to show us? Anything in progress, or?
Yeah, I got an in progress piece right here. This is like a 9-inch K-tip chef's knife.
Jesus.
This is actually made from a plow disc. I
Oh,
know
okay.
a lot of stigma around recycled steel, but some of it's really good stuff. And this was a special request from somebody to use a plow disc, so I made
Well,
that one happen.
I think that the problem comes in, well, I mean, other than the purists, but we'll push them to the side. I think that if you treat it, not just heat treat, but if you do the whole process correctly from start to finish, I mean, one of the best knives, like singular best knives with one of the best edges, came from a sawmill blade. It was 15
Oh yeah.
N20. My buddy Justin Godby heat treated it, and he like pays really close attention to his heat treats. And this thing had an edge which you wouldn't think it would. It had an edge that just would not die. Like, it was
Yeah,
insane.
a lot of the sawmill blades are really good. There are two local makers. I say local; they're about an hour and a half away, but they've been making knives out of saw blades for 30 years probably.
Who?
They are like iconic on the knife forums, USN and stuff. It's
Yeah,
a PB&J knives. You may have heard of them.
that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah, yeah,
That's an interesting business in the sense that they're taking something that would for most people be junk, right? And they have created an entire business that's been really, I think, I don't know them, but just from the outside looking in and seeing them at Blade the couple times that I went, they've taken junk and have turned it into cash.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And every, you don't, they're one of those makers that you don't really see in any of these like bushcraft EDC groups on Facebook or anywhere else, but you'll see them selling out at Blade Show.
Yeah, they got a really loyal following, and they've been around for like a long time.
Yeah.
People know them for their like extremely high quality finishes and work and like consistent designs. Those guys are both geniuses, like in my opinion.
Oh, really? Did you know
Yeah.
them, or?
Yeah, there's no knife makers guild in Virginia where they live.
Yep.
So they come to the North Carolina Guild, and I've known them for a few years now. They've given me tons of information and have been huge supporters of me, learning to make knives, and they're a lot of my inspiration also. because like when I started making knives, you know, I was a knife collector first,
Sure.
and I was like, oh, you know, recycled steel is bad, you know.
Ah,
They're
yeah,
like, shut up, just saw blades are good steel, just don't get the ones with carbide tips.
yeah.
And I started using them, and I'm like, oh my god, these are like extremely tough knives, and they hold an edge forever. So
Is that what you if it's heat treated correctly,
yeah, yeah.
is that what like your favorite knife steel is?
My favorite knife steel is probably 1084 because it's like,
1084. Okay.
yeah, it's a simple old school steel.
Yep.
But man, if it's heat treated right, you can absolutely beat the crap out of 1084,
Yep.
and it's perfect still.
Yeah.
So
I'll agree with that. I think that some of those with all these new like stainless steels and stuff, I think that people are starting to not forget those, but kind of push those to the side. But what most people don't actually realize is that those stainless steels that are so awesome are really hard to sharpen,
yeah, yeah.
especially if you're like a regular dude like me. It's almost impossible.
Yeah, some of these new steels like the S90V, S110V, and like that new one CPM Magna Cut, you're gonna need like a 2x72 and ceramic belts, or you're not really gonna sharpen it unless you want to spend 8 or 9 hours sitting there with your diamond stones. Because
Yeah.
that stuff is extremely abrasive resistant.
Yeah.
So
Yep. Yep.
it's rough.
Uh, I love 1095 D2, 1084, 15N20. I mean, like I'm okay with all of those.
Yeah, me too, definitely.
That's
I
just
don't think
me.
I think I only own one knife that's not like a high carbon or a tool steel.
Gotcha,
So
gotcha.
I'm really old school in steel.
What about handle materials? What do you like working with, and what do you work with on a regular basis, like offer to your customers?
I've got a bunch of stabilized wood,
Okay.
but my favorite is Westinghouse micarta. I have like 400 pounds of Westinghouse
Do
sitting
you?
in my shop. Yeah, I've got huge sheets. They're like 5 foot by 5 foot sheets that
Damn.
they came out of a sawmill. Actually, they were the conveyor belt platform in a sawmill, and they got brought down to me last year. And I love that stuff. It smells terrible, but it depending on how you finish it, you can get like 3 different colors out of it, and that's my absolute favorite. But my second favorite has become Fordite. I'm sure you probably know what that is.
Forta, yeah, it's the paint stuff, right?
Yeah, this stuff is like super interesting looking.
Oh
This
man,
is actually I think this is Jeep Fordite from the Jeep plant.
nice.
It has some different funky colors in it, like metallic silver and this weird orange color. I think it's Jeep. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is.
How does that? What's the durability on that?
I don't think it's extremely durable, but you know, it's been in a paint booth so long, it's baked enamel paint. So
Yeah.
it's got like it's tough, but it can chip. Like if it hits a hard surface or a corner, I'm sure it can chip off. But even micarta can do that. Really, I mean, if it
Right,
hits
right,
wrong.
right.
But as
I'm a
far as
micarta.
workability though, man, finishing Fordite is probably the easiest thing I've ever done in my shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the paint's just kind of soft in itself. And I mean, you hit it with ground it to 220, shaping it. And I had it finished to 1,000 in like 5 minutes. So it's like
Nice.
the scratches go away really fast and it looks super unique. So that's probably my second favorite. And I love stag handles,
Okay.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
but like, that's a very niche kind of handle material.
I hear that it doesn't smell the best.
Oh God. Yeah, it's
It's stinky.
yeah, it's pretty bad, especially when your saw blade is kind of dull, kind of burns through it a little bit and smells real bad.
Gotcha. What about mammoth tusk or tooth or any of that kind of stuff?
I just got some mammoth tooth for the first time, the other day. I haven't used it yet, but I've been told it's extremely hard, almost like I don't know, stone, I guess.
Yeah, like stone well, I mean, it's essentially stone, but like concrete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll let you know about that whenever I use it. I've got a whole bunch of like random sized pieces I got to cut down.
Nice.
So I'm looking forward to that, but I don't think I'll be putting it on much more than a kitchen knife. Probably it's kind of funky looking, bunch of different colors and stuff.
I'm a regular old dude. I'm just like micarta. I'll take that. It's kind of like when I say micarta, people are like, "Oh, you don't like more interesting?" And no, I'm just like, no. I like the character that micarta develops. I like it. That's it.
And it's never gonna soak up anything or crack, or it's like that forever material.
Yep. So if someone wants to buy a knife from you right now or an axe, tell me about it. Like what's the process? How long you said that you have a little bit of a list. Like tell me that. Tell me.
Yeah, it's just shoot me a message. I mean, if I have what I need to build what you want, it's pretty quick usually.
Okay.
I say that, and a lot of people that are gonna watch this video are gonna be like, "You lie," but I'm trying to get better at my process and staying, current and not getting behind. It's a hard thing to do to not get behind, and you see it every day. Makers getting bashed on the groups and stuff for taking too long, and I am working extremely hard to not ever be at that point.
I think it's an under promise or sorry, it's an over promise and under deliver scenario there.
Yeah.
I think that you see a lot of knife makers take deposits, and then they get so overwhelmed because they don't have a process, because they don't have a system in place to handle 5, 10, 20, 100 orders. And then that money feels really good to have that in here. So it kind of relaxes you a little bit. And then that just is a disaster.
Yeah, then you kind of start slacking a little bit, or you might get sidetracked, make something you want to make, and then you're like, all of a sudden it's been 6 months and you haven't even started someone's project. So
what's your general turnaround for an axe?
If I have everything, I could have it done in a week sometimes.
What is it typically?
Typically like 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
It's a lot of times someone's like, "Hey, I'm looking for this," and they're kind of specific. And if I don't have it, I have to find it.
Yeah.
And that could take, who knows how long that could take. Take a year. You never know.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I try to give kind of a broad window of time with stuff. But with not really taking any orders, I haven't had that problem in a while. I think I'm down to like 3 backlog orders, and they're almost done. So I'm like almost a free man.
But you could always use more orders.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to have like people waiting to pay me.
Yeah.
But I'm like extremely ADD in the shop. I'll be working on a project and making great time, and then have an idea, and I completely abandon what I'm doing for a month to do this idea.
Yeah.
And that's dangerous. So
yeah,
I'm gonna try to take very minimal amount of orders, because I just kind of like, I want to make what I want to make.
Yep. Gotcha.
I do my best work when I'm making what I want to make.
Yeah.
I think by the not taking orders, I'm gonna be able to produce a much better, custom piece.
And is that ultimately where you want to go? Do you want to go to like this one unique custom, as opposed to like a line of 5 different items that you just repeat over and over again?
Yeah, pretty much. I know that I'm gonna have to at some point like come up with some models, that I offer to dealers, and maybe have some on hand every now and then. So I am working on, 3 or 4 or 5 designs that might end up in CAD to get water jet, because if I'm doing batches, I'm definitely not cutting them out by hand.
Well, and also, you're going to take your whole operation, including grinder and everything, on the road?
Oh, no. That
No.
would be
Okay,
no.
okay.
I'm still gonna be home during the month quite a bit every month.
So
But
you're just going to take short or trips, like
yeah,
up to Ohio, do that,
yeah,
hang out, record it, learn, and then come back.
yeah. And then work in the shop until the next event or the next time I get an opportunity to go visit a maker. And the cool thing is there are a ton of makers that are pretty local to me. So I'm really gonna focus on those makers first. Um, I got a couple of out of state makers that I'll be going to this year, I think. But there are some extremely talented knife makers and blacksmiths within like an hour drive of me.
Okay.
So I'm gonna really do a lot of learning from those guys
So
this
you kind
year.
of start close and then branch
Yeah,
out.
definitely. Because I've got some people in like in Maine and Georgia, which is not very far to Georgia. But I got a really good opportunity in Georgia to go hang out with Mark Hopper. You might know that name. It's
Uh-uh.
Goat and Hammer.
Okay, I think I've
They
seen it.
run, yeah, they run a blacksmith school down in Atlanta, and
Oh,
I'm going to be able to go down there sometime soon and learn from him some, and that's a pretty big deal for me.
nice, nice. I mean, that sounds like a great opportunity. I think that the more you can learn, the better. And if you can make that into learning the process and that kind of stuff, and maybe sell some merch. And do you have any merch like t-shirts, hats, any of that?
I have shirts. I've got a few in stock right now. I don't know what sizes we have, but we make all our own shirts. My wife
Oh, do
helps
you?
me. Yeah, we got a t-shirt press and everything. So I don't make a whole lot of shirts. It's a lot of time. But I am working on hats. One of my buddies has a laser machine and he does a lot of lasering on leather and stuff. So we're gonna do the leather patch type hat real soon.
Nice.
I'm working on more stickers and more merch will come down the road. Once I start this whole traveling thing, I'm gonna need merch for all the shows I go to.
Yep.
I'm sure there'll be, koozies and who knows what else at some point.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years? Like, where are you going to be? Like, what are you going to be doing?
Hopefully making knives like crazy. Like I really want to do design work
Yeah.
for other companies, just to help get my name out more and stuff. And I want to be involved in the knife world more.
Do
That's
you
like my overall goal.
do you have a portfolio that together, or that hasn't started yet?
Somewhat. I mean, I've got designs that I'm working on now that I think are going to be. They're a little weird, but my
Okay.
style's kind of weird, and I'm going to try and present some of these designs to some companies at some point, probably next year.
Yep.
And I'll have a portfolio made by then with all kinds of weird stuff in it. Because my I don't say my skill base, my interests are all over the place. Like left field to right field, they're pretty far apart. Like like I said, chef's knives with Fordite handles, and then I do like axes, and I also make all the like Native American war clubs and stuff.
I
So
saw
my
that.
my,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
style is really kind of just bounces around like crazy.
Nice. All right. Well, so how do people get a hold of you? I'll have all the links below, but it's your Facebook group. And then what else do you have?
Facebook group is Black Feather Designs. Instagram is Taylor Grinds. That's all I've got right now. But I'll be working on building a website this year. I got somebody helping me out with that. It's taking a little bit of time, but that's going to happen very soon, and we'll have a either official Taylor Grinds website or a official Black Feather website. Not sure yet.
So this is the War Club you're talking about.
That's a really old war club. That's from like I don't know, probably
19.
yeah. That's
I, I
one of
was
my
just
first
I was
reviews.
just scrolling back into a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. There's a good little portfolio post right there.
So what did you do here on this one? Is this you just
So
took it as
that is,
stock?
Yeah, that one was like an old True Temper hatchet from the 60s. And I reground it, reshaped it, and spent like 6 hours doing that stipple texture that I'll never ever do again.
You're like, done that. I'm never gonna
Yeah,
touch that again.
that was a one and done deal.
And this, holy crap, how big's that micarta block?
It looks huge, and I guess from a Micarta, it's pretty big. That's a 3¼ by 3¼ by 5 inches long block of Westinghouse.
Okay, I think that's pretty big.
Yeah, it's decent size. I think it weighed like 30 ounces.
Friction folder.
Yep, that was one of my. I think I've only made 5 friction folders. That
I-
one
I-
weighed like 2 pounds.
Yeah, friction folders are just not my jam. They kind of scare me, but
They can be a little sketchy if they're not built right.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's awesome.
That was a really cool piece. That axe head is a highly sought after Black Raven. That one I think is from the 30s.
So
Those heads alone sell for like $700-800.
well,
And
so my question is um the guys who collect these axe heads, right?
Mhm.
Are very very concerned about keeping them in like original condition and that kind of stuff. Do you ever piss these guys off when you take something that's rare and unique and like cut it out or make it different?
Yeah, there's been a lot of hate towards me over the past 6 years, and it's somewhat gone away because more and more people started, modifying and stuff, and it kind of became somewhat normal. But like back when I started, there was really only one other guy doing it, and he wasn't doing it to anything, rare or special.
But you were.
Yeah, yeah.
And just pissing people off.
Oh yeah, there's been a lot of people mad at me in even in the last couple of weeks.
Oh really?
I won't get into that.
Oh gosh.
But yeah, that War Club back there, the orange one, that one actually just got shipped down to a museum in South Carolina. They're doing a big display on knife makers and craftsmen of North and South Carolina. And they got a few pieces from me that are going to be on display for the next like 6 months.
That's awesome, man. Make sure you plug them. Make sure you put their name out there so people can go see your stuff.
Definitely. I'm going to be down there in about a month or so to look out at some stuff.
Do you make all of your axe handles?
Yeah.
Or do you buy them already made and just customize them?
No, I make all of them now. I used to buy them and like reshape them.
Yeah.
But now I make everything 100%.
That's a cool little knife.
Yeah, that's one of those. That was a saw blade. I actually also.
Hey, oh.
Another one of the War Clubs.
That almost looks like the bottom of it doesn't even like look real.
Oh, down to the end of the handle.
Yeah, well, no, down here, like it just looked like what kind of wood is that?
That's that's red elm. That came from a friend in Indiana actually that wood did, and I wanted to make it look kind of like the Damascus in the spike.
Yeah.
So I did a Japanese finish on it, like called I'm probably gonna say it wrong. Shosugiban, where they torch the wood to preserve it.
It looks, I mean, it looks unreal. It looks like simulated, like like you like photoshopped it.
No, that's a picture in my front yard with my crappy phone.
That looks awesome, man.
Thanks, man.
And tell me about this. So this is this the spear that you took the blade?
It is. There's probably quite a few pictures of people at Blade Show holding that spear because everybody that saw it wanted a picture with it.
And then I saw that Wayne got it, right?
Yeah, Wayne won the spear, and he was nice enough to let me send that down to the museum with the war club and an axe to go on display because they wanted my work because it shows like the Native American, you know, style and heritage.
Yeah.
So I had the spear in the shop still. They asked me for it like right when I pulled the winner for the raffle, and I talked to Wayne. He was like, "Yeah, man, just take care of it." So I'm gonna make sure I get him some paperwork from the museum saying that it was on display there for him to have with the spear.
That's awesome, man. I think that's huge that Wayne would do that.
Yeah,
I
super
mean,
happy he did that.
well, that just shows what kind of guys are out here in the knife community. And if you're watching this and you've never been part of the knife community, I know weapons are scary, but some of the best people like Taylor and Doug and just some of the best people that I know I've met through the knife community.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like 99% of my friends have been met in the knife community.
What is this? What's this?
So that is what's referred to as a head knife. It's for like leather work.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
that handle is
Just
a
to
really
kind of like roll it on the
yeah,
leather.
you kind of roll it and you can really get a good pull slice with
Gotcha.
it. But that handle is a really large warthog tusk. And I wanted to use that forever, and it was got a weird shape to it, so I never used it. And then I cut out that head knife blade, and it kind of just fit together perfectly. So
Nice. There you go.
yeah, that was a funky one.
Still cool looking. There you go.
Yeah, that was my first like venture into kitchen knives.
That's an awesome combo.
Thank you. My buddy wanted a 3-piece set up in Kentucky. And I'm like, I got you, man. And that's that was crosscut Westinghouse.
Oof.
And I wanted to make it look kind of old school with the pin placement. So I did like a French style 6-pin. They came out really nice.
Looks good, man. I mean, from the pictures, it looks damn near perfect, man.
Thank you.
So what are your prices range? So let's just talk about axes in general, or we can talk about everything. Like what's kind of the lowest to the highest, and where are you at?
Low end is like $200.
Okay.
And I think that's kind of a low end for most makers nowadays.
Yep.
At least custom makers.
Sure.
And I mean, high end, there's no limit. I mean, if you want something extremely crazy, you know, I don't really get into the high end yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think what most people don't realize is that there's this high end that's like, high, like really bougie, like super high.
yeah, $50,000 knives and stuff.
Oh yeah. What's the most you've ever sold a piece for?
I think it was $2,000, and that was right before Blade Show.
Nice. What was it? Or you're working on it?
No, it was you scrolled through it on those pictures. It was the modified Liam Hoffman axe.
Oh, hold on. Let's see. Let me share my screen.
And that's a very rough topic.
That the one that had the LH on it.
Yeah, that's a very controversial piece right there. That was it. Yeah.
Why?
Oh man, I'm gonna get in trouble now.
But I'll assume it. I mean, not even knowing, just knowing how these guys are, it's probably some like unique, like one of a kind axe head. No,
that's one of his production pieces, and I mean, he doesn't make a whole lot of them. You know, they come in batches, and they're impossible to get. And I had to pay secondary market price for it, which was like $900. You know, because they're hard to get. And I decided that I was going to regrind it because that's what I do. You know, I regrind everything, and I just did it. And that orange handle was Paduk, and that handle didn't survive, so I ended up making a different handle for it. And man, I put it up for sale with all the profits going to charity. And the minute it was up for sale, there was issues.
Oh, they're
So
like, what the hell is this guy doing?
yeah,
Yeah. What's
it was
is the NC on it, North Carolina, or?
yeah. Liam's somewhat local, but I made a lot of people mad with that one, and I'd probably do it again just because.
It's what you do.
Yeah, it's what I do. I wasn't trying to hurt anybody's feelings or anything, but I mean, it's just, it is what it is.
Hey, well, yeah, it's kind of funny that it's not that I know any of the axe head guys, but you can just see on the groups, and I know how the guys are with knives. And when you go like even something, well, not stupid, but even something like when I got a Todd Heater MOW and I Cerakoted it, people's brains like exploded and they were like, what are you doing? I'm like, what's up? I'm just wanted to make something unique. And the guy that bought it paid good money for it, and he still has it to this day. But it pissed off so many guys. That was my first kind of inkling into it, that these guys take these things very serious.
Yeah, you must have missed the heater that I reground a while back.
Oh no. Oh, you what?
Yeah, I reground one.
Is it on your group page?
I don't think so. I'll have to send you a picture of it. It's been like 2 years ago, I think is when it was.
Oh man,
I don't think it's on there. It's on my Instagram, I'm sure, but
people were probably minds exploding.
Yeah, I didn't get as much, grief for it as I thought I would. I really like thin, slicey knives.
Well, you probably didn't talk to the right people, because those guys, if they knew that was happening, they probably would have exploded.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Let me see. How far back?
It's been a while. It's hard to miss though, because it's like got a funky NO on it, and it's probably been 2 years.
Let me see. You regrown this?
Yep, that's it.
Yep, you probably pissed people off.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh well.
Well, what would have been better is if you would have like reshaped the handle and done even more to it, because you basically kept it in its format. You just touched it up a little.
Yeah, it was originally like a hollow grind.
Yep.
It was like, a really deep hollow grind.
Is that the boss in the back?
Oh, yep, you've been spotted.
Hey, boss.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Got home from work early.
But hey, man, listen, thank you so much for spending the time with me today. I want to help you out in any way that I can, especially with your journey that you got coming up. So let me know. And it's, you got to realize that just like you learned knife making, the video and the video production, I'm still learning every single day, but you just don't overthink it. And people want to see that raw stuff. So put it out there.
Yeah, that's the plan, is for it to be no script, like, raw, real. This is what goes on in a shop and, a bushcraft event or whatever.
Yeah.
Because all the other videos you see are like, high production level, scripted. They do takes on every little scene and stuff. And I don't want it to be like that way. I want it to be like real. This is what's happening.
Yeah, because people want to see that ultimately.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to try to get sponsors.
Definitely.
If you're actually going to do what you say you're going to do, don't be afraid to ask sponsors, because there's a lot of companies who would love that kind of exposure.
Definitely. Yeah. I'm going to be looking at that for sure.
From the overalls you're wearing to the boots, the hat. I mean, seriously. And it's really just saying, hey guys, this is what I'm going to do. Here's my plan for doing it. and then here's me doing it at least a little bit. And I think you'd be surprised at what you would get sponsored.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely be trying to do that very soon because the list of needs for this is pretty long.
Sure.
So
Absolutely.
anything that anybody wants to donate would be even great. So
Yeah.
sponsor.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I'll put all your links out there. Hey man, thank you so much for spending time with me today.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yep, absolutely.